So I've meditated for 100 days so far this year. That number ranges. So like, I've meditated some days up to 20 minutes, which is obviously, I think that's not really normal at all. It's definitely not normal. Most people won't spend 20 minutes on a daily basis meditating. But then also, some days it'll literally be for 1 minute. Um, I actually would be on I would have been on like a 100-day streak, but I think at day 54, I just forgot or something. But yeah, essentially this year, okay, no, so not this year, but because it's not been 100 days in this year. So basically, between the end of 2025 and up until now, I've meditated for about 100 days. So it's pretty crazy. That's like the most consistent I've probably ever been with anything, I'd say. Is crazy because now I can really look and kind of describe what kind of difference that makes to your life. The reason I started in the first place was just because I kind of got sick of like not having control over my mind. So like the main reason I started was so I could finally like snap back into like the present and like live my life again. Because I think when me personally, I've got quite an addicted personality, so I'll get addicted to things like YouTube Shorts, whatever it might be, TikTok. So I just wanted to be able to like catch myself and have kind of like the willpower to say no and stop and delete the app and then go on with my day. Because I feel like I value my time quite well. So I just hated the lifestyle, the scrolling lifestyle. And it's absolutely helped with that. So like the main kind of benefits I've noticed, the biggest one has to be what I essentially just described. You can actually like snap back to the present and be aware when you're kind of just going through the motions, or if you're kind of if you're death scrolling, or even at work. It helps me. Like it's so easy when you work a 9 to 5. If you're kind of lazy like me, sometimes you'll zone out, and you know you get paid by the hour. You don't need to be working the best every single minute of the day. So sometimes you're kind of just zoned out. You're pretending to work. You're kind of just you're not really working. You're not really improving yourself at work. So sometimes I'll notice that now at work, and I can actually like catch myself drifting at work, and then I can ask myself a good question like, okay, how can I actually apply something new right now in my work? Or what are like the fundamentals I should be applying right now? And then I can just consciously focus on that, and then all of a sudden I'm actually working properly again, and then time flies like crazy because I'm actually applying myself now. So that's like the biggest thing. Another really big one has to be emotional control, especially in social context. So like if someone kind of, let's say someone asks you a question, you can actually take a moment to think before you answer the question and then respond, which I think is kind of a basic skill anyway. But when you're someone who's very kind of aware of your nervous system, you've meditated a lot, you don't just respond and react every time, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's good just to be completely authentic and intuitively react to people. But sometimes when it comes to like a social situation, sometimes it's better to just take a moment and think. Or like maybe someone's low-key being like someone's being a twat at work, someone's kind of trying to start some sort of argument or start some sort of conflict with you at work. You're always gonna compose yourself better than the other person if you're someone who's very meditative, calm, you're conscious, whereas the other person is just in like an emotional rut trying to feed their ego or something, and you can kind of make them look stupid every time. Like one example would be, there's this one manager at my last workplace, and he did have kind of like, obviously he's a manager, so like he kind of would go on some sort of like weird ego rush sometimes. He'd tell you what to do just to feel good about it. And I kind of used to talk to this guy just like he's a friend, just to take the mic, because I don't care. I don't give a toss, man. Like, just because you're a manager, I'm not going to speak to you like you're some flipping king, bro. And this would get to him a bit. And I honestly don't think I was being disrespectful whatsoever. I would just speak to him like a normal person. But then he would he'd give me these weird tests. Like he'd tell me he'd just be like abusing his manager power, and he'd try and like fix his frame. He'd try and make himself feel a bit higher than me. Obviously, I understand you're supposed to respect your manager. Like, you don't act like a retard towards them. But I just want to... this is quite a chill workplace. You can speak to the people like they're just your... more casually, essentially. Like, it's not super corporate. But this one guy, he always felt like he needed to have some sort of one-up on you. So, like, I kind of went on a tangent there. But, like, essentially, when this guy would kind of challenge me, I would keep my composure. I'd just act chill, you know. I'd always be relaxed, and it would surprise people. It would surprise himself, because he's like, oh, yo, this guy's like actually like, he's not like enslaved to my like status or whatever it is. I don't really know the best way to word it, but I think you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say. So it helps a lot socially. It's like an instant boost on your social skills. And my social skills weren't always the best. So it is kind of like an unfair cheat code, because I feel like a lot of people don't meditate. It's definitely a habit, you know, it feels like more of a niche kind of thing these days. Or maybe there's definitely a group of people who do it. Well, obviously there is. But it just feels like, it feels like something that people would make fun of or not take seriously, because they imagine like you're sitting there with your legs crossed like a monk in your room every day, humming. You're there like but like nah, it's just a skill which can take 3 to 5 minutes every day. It's just learning the skill of moving your mind back to the present, essentially. So yeah, what I suggest for anyone who wants to get into it, because it's 100% worth it. It's changed my life in so many different ways. It's made me a more productive person. It's made me just feel better about myself and how much control I've got over like my desires and things. For anyone starting, just download the app called Medido, Medido, and just go through like I think there's like a 30-day challenge on there. So it's just like basically a 30-day thing you do, a really short session, and it just helps you build a habit of meditating. So you'll just be there for like about 5 minutes a day, maybe less. Maybe I think it lets you do shorter ones too, like 3 minutes. Go through it. You'll do like a 30-day kind of course, and don't bother too much if you miss a day or something. Just continue with the course. And essentially, that's going to help you build a habit. And the only way you're going to see the benefits of it is by starting. Because it is a life-changing thing. It's a different way of life. I can actually walk outside and like enjoy like the trees swaying in the wind, which sounds crazy, bro. It sounds kind of corny, but it's true, bro. It's really good for your mental health. That's definitely a big one as well. Like, I'm just like calm. I feel more chill, bro. I've not got constant racing thoughts. Like that's another thing as well. Because I think everyone these days struggles with racing thought, because our dopamine is just jacked up by social media. So the moment we don't have like TikTok or something in front of our eyes, or Instagram, our brains are probably going mad, saying all sorts of different things, replaying scenarios. When you're someone who meditates, the second those thoughts come up, you can kind of build a good relationship with those thoughts. Like, for example, if you get like an anxious thought about, or like, let's say you get a thought about something stupid you said in front of a group of people. When you replay a thought like that, you actually start to feel the emotions and the embarrassment in that moment that you had. So most times, the emotion you feel thinking about it is way worse than what actually happened. And if that thought came up to me, I could kind of just build a relationship with that thought, a healthy relationship. I could basically tell myself in my head, like, that's in the past now. And honestly, I'm happy I made myself look stupid, because now I've learned from it. So that's kind of like an example. That's just another beautiful example of what meditation can do for you. So yeah, I kind of just waffled on about meditation. I recently broke my streak again. I don't really care about the streak though. I just want to be someone who consistently does it. I'm on like 6 days at the moment, so I do want to take it a little bit more serious. I've been only doing 1 minute sessions recently. I want to try to do 5 to 10 minutes a day. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed me waffling about meditation. Maybe someone might be inspired just to give it a go. It's 100% worth try. And just see what it's like. But thank you for watching, and take care, boys.